Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jeff and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and I've not played with the Sprite Dragon in quite a while. One blue, one red, flying haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 encounter onto Sprite Dragon. It's a really powerful card, and if it's not answered early on, it will win you games. And so I wanted to throw that into a deck that was just, you know, the typical IZZET spells deck with Improbable Alliance. So we're calling this one Fairy Alliance because we got the Fairy Dragon, we got the fairies here, and IZZET and everything, they can go ahead and be fairies for today as well. But basically what we're doing is just kind of throwing all this deck into the format as it is now, because I think that with the bans and with everything that took place, Fire's Invention was one of the cards that really made this deck hard to really like go off with, because a lot of your good interaction, like you end up having to split your interactions, I feel like, where you have to have a lot of counter spells for Fire's Invention and things like that. You also need to have a lot of early game removal and whatnot. And so I feel like with this deck, we were able to focus a little bit more on the early game removal and then just kind of outvalue everyone else with different stuff. Of course, control is going to be hard to beat at times, things like that. But overall, I really like this deck and how it is. So that's the basic game plan of the deck. I'm going to go ahead and now go into like a detailed version of this deck as well. If you guys want to jump ahead, the timestamp will be down below in the video. All right, so first off, we need to draw cards. We have Improbable Alliance, where whenever you draw a second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Then you can also use this ability to pay 6, draw a card, then discard a card. So really nice to be able to do that on your turn as well, to be able to get some fairies. The goal of this deck is basically to get a couple of these out if we can. We either want a Sprite Dragon in the early game or Improbable Alliance. That just is the best game plan that we can go for. I was initially thinking of also having like Arclight Phoenix, there it is, Arclight Phoenix instead of Crackling Drake. But with the Improbable Alliance, I was noticing that we weren't having as much like looting type of effects and everything like that if we were really trying to make that the main game plan. And so decided to go for the Crackling Drake instead, which I think fits really well in here. 4 mana, draw a card. We can hopefully make some fairies as we're doing that, and then it is just a really big creature to be swinging in with. IZZET on the top end, because I mean it's IZZET. It draws us a bunch of cards. It works great with Improbable Alliance, and it gets in for a bunch of damage if it goes in, it goes unanswered. It can't be countered, so but if it goes unanswered. Shark Typhoon also on the top end to kind of help everything out. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and jump into like the different cards here. So it's it's just the perfect card for the first drop slot. We want to be drawing cards. Shock is one of those where like I feel like we could also fill this slot with something that like there are some red spells that also draws cards, and I might make this change as we're playing today to bring out let's see if we actually have them right now. Like there's like Crash Through or something like that also draws us cards typically. It looks like we don't actually have anything in red right now. Yeah, okay, so that's why we're running Shock. Sorry, I'd gone through and tried to find stuff, but usually there's like all your creatures get trample, all your creatures get something, and you get to draw a card for 1 mana in red. Typically red has something like that. I feel like right now we don't have it, which really kind of throws off the Improbable Alliance type of game plan here. But being able to just do damage to face, get in for a lot of the aggressive play here really works well. And so we have Shock kind of to go more face. It answers well with Teferi. We can just Shock instead of having to do anything else. We do have our Scorching Dragonfires in here, 3 copies, 1 copy of Lava Coil, just kind of fit well. There are a few things that we want to be able to do 4 damage to, so we have it there for those instances. Sprite Dragon, again, that's kind of what we're built around. Thrill of Possibilities, be able to draw cards at instant speed, drawing 2 cards, which is really nice, so we can use that on the opponent's turn. We only have 6 ways to really draw 2 cards on the opponent's turn. Chemist's Insight, Thrill of Possibilities. Chemist's Insight, we kind of get 2 swings with it, which is really nice, so we can be creating lots of tokens on their turn as well, because it's whenever you draw your second card on each turn. So we only need to draw, like, because we draw the card for turn on our turn. So if we have like 5 mana, or let's say 3 mana, we can then draw and create a fairy, and then on the second turn, Thrill of Possibility, draw 2 cards, create another fairy. We really want to just be creating fairies consistently. We have things like Castle Embereth in our mana base to be able to like pump up all those fairies and swing in for a lot of damage. I've actually debated on how good it would be to like go for like Heraldic Banner with this kind of card or something like that. I think you could actually do some pretty sweet stuff. Royal Silence though just fits this slot, 3-drop slot perfectly here. We get to +1, draw a card, then discard a card. On our turn, we can just be drawing our second card. Once this is out with Improbable Alliance, just every turn kind of keep that going. Royal Silence is really hard for people to remove because it takes up an entire turn to do it. And the value that it produces, like the -8 ability is really, really powerful. Where you draw 4 cards, and then it deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in hand. It's not such an oppressive effect that people are going to try to keep it, you know, like try to kill Royal Scions, but they're probably going to keep it away from the -8. But we also get the other +1 where target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn, which is perfect with our Crackling Drake, which occasionally Crackling Drake's power gets up really, really big, you know, it's like a 10 or something like that, but people might just have chump blockers, they might have something, you know, just kind of be able to get through it. If we can give it +2/+0 trample and first strike, we are able to then get in and actually close out the game. So Royal Silence just kind of fits out perfectly with this deck. I do want to make sure that we're having more instants and sorceries for the Crackling Drake, and so that's why, even though this is a non-creature spell, which works great for the Sprite Dragon, it doesn't work as well for the Crackling Drake, and so we're going for 2 copies there. I think that's about right. Again, I'm going to probably make a couple changes here and there, and I typically have the updated list down below in the video, what we end up with here after like 6 games or 7 games. Encumbrer's Insight, again, it draws cards. Jumpstart, you get to discard something from your hand, do it again, which is pretty sweet. Niv-Mizzet, I mean, it's just the perfect card here. And Shark Typhoon, yeah, Niv-Mizzet is just a busted card, draws us lots of cards, deals damage pinging in, and that's kind of what our game plan is. We get in for a bunch of 1/1 type of effects. You know, we're doing in the late game, you know, 4 or 5 damage a turn and trying to close it out quickly with a few big hitters here in the deck. You know, like there's a few big hitters that will close out the game as well. Shark Typhoon kind of fits that slot perfectly where, you know, even though it's going to be hard to use it to draw 2 cards on the opponent's turn, creating a big shark is still really valuable. And if we have like an opt as well, we can Shark Typhoon, draw 1 card, and save up 1 mana to opt to create you know, a couple fairies if we have these out as well. So Shark Typhoon, again, just fits this deck perfectly, and I'm really liking it. Mana base, I added 1 Triome. I'm debating if I want to add more in because of the cycling effect to be able to draw cards. You know, could be really nice in this deck. Again, though, we need to be able to draw 2 cards to really get the effect with Improbable Alliance. So I don't really know. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. All right, we are up against Anthrax. We will defeat them. All right, we're gonna keep this. I mean, we don't have really many instants and sorceries, but we have the Sprite Dragon, we have Royal Scions, and we are going to try to hold on to the shock. If we get this in as like a 3/3, even that can start closing or getting the life total pretty low pretty quick. Hopefully draw into some lands. I only have 24 lands in the deck because we should be drawing into lands pretty consistently with this deck. All right, go Sprite Dragon, down to 19. And I've not seen like anyone else playing this kind of stuff as well, which is pretty cool. All right. You're lame. We really need to hit a land drop this turn. So Thrill of Possibility, discard a... I think it's just a shock. We know that they're playing creatures, but this looks like more of a control-y type of deck. No lands. Wow. 11 cards and only 2 lands. That is very unlikely. All right. Let's go Royal Scions. I think we get rid of the shock again.
Let us plan for the trials ahead.
Because Scorching Dragonfire is bigger, better. We still want to be able to draw cards. Just we want to get to Niv-Mizzet basically, or Crackling Drake. We did hit another land. Sweetness. E to Extinction. All right.
So tired.
All right, go Crackling Drake. It's not a big boy yet, but it's not bad. All right, Improbable Alliance into Thrill of Possibility or Opt. That'll be perfect. If we hit land, we get to opt our turn and then Thrill of Possibility the next turn. Well, that's annoying. Dude, I swear, every time I play a new deck, I'll run up against a deck I've never seen before that's like the exact answers for everything that I'm doing. It happens every time. Like, it's actually a little bit ridiculous. All right, let's go ahead and go for the opt here. That gets us to Niv-Mizzet. All right, we'll keep that for Niv-Mizzet. Scorching Dragonfire might not do a whole lot here. Because like even if we exile this, it just comes back right now. So we're trying to get in past it more so than just try to get through it at the moment. Although the effect is really bad. So we could swing in, we could Scorching Dragonfire or Thrill of Possibility, something like that. But we probably just want to go for the go wide plan at the moment. So we're not going to force the issue just yet. We're going to draw cards, probably get rid of... I guess we can try to dig for more blue mana. Wow, Kefnet in this economy? Seriously? Yeah. Alright, goes for the stomp. They get to double it up here? Or no, okay. And Cry of the Canarium. So I could create a fairy. We're just gonna go ahead and get rid of the Kefnet here. It exiles, it goes back to the third place, but they have to replay it, so I mean, we get rid of it, they take up their entire turn, and we get to go for IZZET here. It's not a terrible play. Most of their answers are going to be instants and sorceries. Let's just hope for no Eat to Extinction. There you go. It's not Eat to Extinction. I don't know the last time I've even played up against Agrixis Control, and it's like the first deck that we read up against. I love how Arena Shuffler works, or like the gameplay goes here. Every time. Alright, so we can just draw a card, discard a card here. I guess we go for Thrill of Possibility, even though we could do it on instant speed. I kind of want to be able to find like a Sprite Dragon or something like that right now. Do I play land? These are really good discard fodder. We have to discard with this as well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use the Thrill of Possibility. Try to find some more good stuffs. Triome, we have Chemist's Insight as well. So, pass the turn. I guess I should have played the island because I could shock and block with the fairy, kill this Bone Crusher. They're down to one card left. Alright. Castle Locthwain. Alright, draw 2 cards. Sprite Dragon is really nice. Opponent scoops it up. Alright. I mean, we did have kind of like the engine going, but only one Improbable Alliance isn't that great. We did show that we had lots of card draw still going on, though. We had way more cards in hand, so I mean, we'll take it. Alright, Visual Pineapple. Bring it on. We got some card draw. We have Emisizzle. We have a Scry on turn 1. So we don't have any like payoffs with this hand, but Lava Coil for the Lurrus deck. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. Like it's not a bad hand. We can use this, and I can discard the Chemist's Insight if we want to keep our lands for the Thrill of Possibility. Keep it in the graveyard. Opt. I think I'd rather just like dig a little bit deeper right now, try to find an actual payoff for this next turn. If we can find Improbable Alliance off the top and play it, that'd be great. Alright, pass the turn. IZZET will do well against this. Well, they're not going to play lots of instant sorceries. Sprang Veteran. Yep. This is such an aggressive deck. And we don't have the best to start. Let's see if we can find some things with Thrill Possibility. Drop the Chemist's Insight. We still want the lands right now. Shock and Lava Coil. Okay. Alright, so Shock you. Lava Coil you. I guess I should have Lava Coiled that, so it can't come back as easy, but that's fine. That should slow him down quite a bit here. Flame Sweep is what I forgot to put into the deck. We need to add a Flame Sweep to this deck. Sprang Veteran. That's cool, that's cool. Royal Scions. I might just play out the Triome right now. Probable Alliance, sweet. Yeah, discard island, play out the Triome, pass the turn. I just want to make sure that we can actually play the Emisizzle. That was our third red source. Swing at the Scions, perfect. We love that. All right. That's the bestest. Okay, play out Improbable Alliance. Create a blocker. Vantress. You draw a card first, right? So let's go ahead and draw a card to see what we find.
What is my strategy here?
The 6th land. We can find more stuff. So discard the Steam Vents. Shock the Veteran. Have a blocker here. I guess I could have waited for the next turn, but that's fine. Yeah, getting rid of the Inspiring Veterans is basically what makes this deck work. We do have to find answers for the Lurrus, though. We'll go ahead and try to trade off. If they spend a card doing this, okay. That's cool. All right. Emisizzle. We'll go ahead and take up and draw a card. Even though we have to discard whatever it is, we get a fairy and all right, and a pingage. And the fairies are really what are going to dominate here against this deck. Like, just being able to go wide against them is beautiful. All right, draw to kill Lurrus. Sounds decent. All right, so hit Lurrus with this one. Oh, this is perfect. All right. Shock the Inspiring Veteran. We get to draw a card. We get to do some stuff. Ping the Lurrus. Kill everything. Yeah. The hardest part with that is surviving the early turns, and we did it perfectly. We will take it. I feel like the nerf that they did on the companions was... it still made them playable, but it legitimately slowed down the more aggro decks. It basically made Yorion not as consistent to play, but still like a thing. I don't know. I don't think they did a terrible job with it. I don't love how they did it though. Yeah, I don't know. I think they definitely could have nerfed it more. Like, I think that they should have just said, hey, the companion effect is dumb. We should take out companions completely and just play something completely different. All right, 3 Improbable Alliances. I'm going to try to go for as many of these as I can before we start creating tokens, but we also have to not, you know, die things. Oh man, an opt would be amazing here. I think we just go for the other Improbable Alliance, go Fable Passage, pass the turn. I'm not going to be greedy enough to go for this unless we find opt off the top. Not going to go for that. All right, down to 13. Land for Crackling Drake would also be pretty sweet here. Just as another good blocker. Grab. I think we actually go for Mountain. So we have a lot more red spells in the early game than we do blue stuff. Because they have a lot of like removal and whatnot. These 5-cost things are really hard for us to deal with though. And that's why I'm glad that we found the Probable Alliances instead. Temple of Epiphany. We have the 4 mana. We can go Crackling Drake every turn after this. We do want lands, but I think we can kind of just like draw into him as we go. Like we're gonna have Thrill of Possibility. I don't want to run into more than like 1 or 2 here. So pass the turn, wait for them to swing in. We probably just kill the 2 humans so that Love Struck Beast is done for. All right, Thrill of Possibility, discard Chemist's Insight. All right, Opt is sweet here. All right, block. As long as they don't get Lucky Clover, we have a pretty good shot in this matchup. All right, this is sweet. All right, so Sprite Dragon. Improbable Alliance. Pump the Sprite Dragon. Opt doesn't do it. Lame. All right. Go ahead and opt. Nope, to the bottom. We draw lots of cards here. Create some blockers, get in for 1, down to 17, pass the turn. 3 Improbable Alliances is going to be somewhat difficult to deal with. Crackling Drakes are starting to get a little bit bigger. Let's see, 2 spells, 3 spells in the graveyard. Shadow Spear. Crap. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I think that we need Flame Sweeps in this deck. Lava Coil. Just not enough. Alright, go Crackling Drake. There's Emisizzle. I could Lava Coil the human and try to find like a shock or something on the next turn just to stop them from attacking. We can block everything and kill Love Struck Beast. And I think that would be worthwhile. I'm just debating if I want to Lava Coil a human here. That seems kind of bad, especially with Emisizzle coming down on the next turn. All right, block here, chump here, block here. In case they have a bounce shock or something like that, I'd rather just make sure that this gets killed. We can't let this get through because of stomps. Beanstalk Giant with Shadow Spear. Yeah, it's gonna be scurry. Hey, thanks so much for the Prime subscription. I appreciate that. So I can get out the Emisizzle, but that doesn't do a ton, because I don't have mana to kill like a human, the humans right now. We could block the Beanstalk Giant, not quite kill it. Dang it, man, this is annoying. All right, go Crackling Drake. If we could draw 2 more cards for the next turn, this would be pretty sweet too. I guess I could try to get lucky with Yachts. All right, pass the turn. Man, we were in great shape before the Shadow Spear. That's a good reason to have it in the sideboard. Shadow Spear could be kind of interesting with a Sprite Dragon in here as well, just to be gaining life. I'm trying to find another opt if we can. All right. So we have 5 damage here. All right, so block here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, block like that. We'll shock a human here. If they can bounce the Crackling Drake, we're in a lot of trouble. We get a shock a human and still turn this into a 5/4 and get to kill it. Maybe we should be targeting the Beanstalk Giant. Dang it. Yeah, we should have. Lame. All right, yeah, that's game. They had a really good start. They had all the pieces they needed. Too bad. Yeah, the giant has trample. We had 8 toughness in it, so it was only going to get through for 1. And we had the 9 power to kill it, so it was going to get in for 1. We were going to block everything. I was trying to kill the humans so that we actually had a shot against the questing beast or the love struck beast. But because if we could make them take a turn off before they could actually do it, swinging everything, we could probably get enough. Niv it out and enough value to be able to actually take over the game there, but didn't work out. This is a perfect end. I mean, anything with our 2 drops and some good spells is perfect. Steam Vents tapped. I'm not gonna hold up the shock. Probably should. Yep, definitely should have held up the shock. Dang it. Is it worth doing now? All right, Improbable Alliance, pass the turn. They don't get up to 3 mana to be able to protect it till later, so we'll shock on the next turn. Starfield Mystic. All right, I've seen this deck before. We're just gonna kill the Knight of the Evil Legion now, pass the turn. I could draw for 0, like just use this to draw and create a fairy. It does the same thing if I drew for 3, but I think that we can take a turn and not do anything here, hopefully. Maybe not. Angelic Gift. So the Black Eidolon is definitely in this deck. I've seen a few decks like this. Pass to my turn. Another Improbable Alliance. Going wide against this deck is actually probably going to be pretty decent. If we can go that slow. I really want to hit a land here, though. I could Shark Typhoon, try to hit the land. Create a 1/1, a 1/1. And if we do hit land, it's perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. So Cycle X1. What am I playing in ranked? I've really been enjoying the Green Stampede deck that I played yesterday. Like, honestly, that is my new favorite deck. If you do the deck command here, it takes you to the full list of my decks and stuff, and it's the top one. It's really good. All right, this gets a counter onto him. Yep. That's fine. We do need removal for this at some point. Maybe we need like Brazen Borrowers in here, because I've not been having any real removal spell on this deck against like a lot of stuff. So maybe we need to bring in a couple of Brazen Borrowers, because there's still instants and sorceries that you can cast for the fairy. They don't work with Crackling Drake, but that's probably what we'd cut for a couple of those. Let's go Improbable Alliance. I think we're gonna drop the mountain here to play this. And I might do it now so that if I do find another land, I can play it. I want to hold on to the Thrill of Possibilities. I think that going wide is going to be our best hope here. Oh, no land. Yeah, I think we definitely need a little bit better removal. We just haven't been drawing the right removal at the right times, though. That's big. They just bring it back. Dang, that's so good. Oof. That is rough. We're not dead, but it was a little close. Okay, let's go for the Crackling Drake. I should have waited on the land to see if we drew red mana here. Opt is something, I guess. They just keep bringing this back. 2 other cards. So we're still not dead this turn, but do we actually have a shot of coming back? I don't think so. All right, so I think the deck is good. We're doing the thing that we're wanting to do, but not having answers is definitely hurting us. So we need to find, I guess we could just run like Unsummon instead of Brazen Borrower. But I think Brazen Borrower would work because we're trying to get in through the air. So I think that we need to bring in real quick Flame Sweep. 2 copies of Flame Sweep, Brazen Borrower. I think we can drop a Shocks for the Flame Sweeps and Crackling Drake. Let's go 3 copies. Crackling Drake. Scorching Dragonfire. Up against the few decks we actually drew it, it was pretty nice. But now we have the Flame Sweeps as well. So maybe we drop like Scorching Dragonfire, 1 copy. I guess we run it like that. I don't want to lose completely the Crackling Drake. I guess 2 copies isn't bad. We have a lot of card draw. Let's go like that. All right, let's go ahead and try this in ranked now. Couple games. Yeah, I've not put a lot of focus into ranked though at lately. I mean, ranked is fun and everything. It takes so much time and grinding to get through platinum and diamond. And a deck that you just really love to play. Like I like to do it in historic typically. And I just haven't enjoyed it as much lately. And so I've not really been doing it. Definitely keeping this. Sprite Dragon for turn 2. Shocking yourselves, I feel like hurts more here. Although we might be able to kill something else, like if they have like double fervent champion. So we'll go ahead and shock ourselves. Pass the turn. I can shock this at instant speed. They could go for like infuriate here. I think gives them enough. Few decks play that. Yeah, doesn't get attacked this turn. Another Grim Initiate. Right, where's our Flame Sweep? We put it in for this exact instance. Maybe I should have just scryed there. I can block here. If these guys die, they're just going to create a bigger amass token. Sprite Dragon's too valuable to block for a 1/1. Team Street Dodger. Alright, they just have everything. That's cool. Alright, Flame Sweep off the top. I believe in you. But you don't believe in me. How big can we make these guys? If they don't ever find the Cavalcade of Calamity, just making these 2/2s is pretty decent. I think we're digging for Flame Sweep though. We have so many other spells we can cast. Okay, no attacks. I will trade off with Scorched Spitter and whatnot. Ah. All right, block and block. Reason Borrower. So I can go for Crackling Drake. It's a 1/4. If they have any other spell, we're dead. They drew a lot of creatures really quick, and we didn't find anything really good for the matchup. Another Cavalcade deck. Yay! Yeah, basically. Yeah, I guess we block here. Brazen Borrower here is going to be nice. We're dead anyway, huh? I was doing my math wrong. All sorts of dead. Well, I'm so glad I brought in those Flame Sweeps. That'd be great to be able to find those. I was gonna say, I feel like I'd rather run into more Cavalcade than Control personally. But I think that's I think they're actually doing a pretty good job of keeping it like semi-even. Alright, up against Drunken Master. Bring it on. Yeah. Which isn't bad. Sprite Dragon into Improbable Alliance and Opt on the same turn. We have the Flame Sweep against the aggro decks. We're going to be up against a deck that has every answer. I just know it every single time. That's what happens. But like, this is a perfect shot. Storm's Wrath. So the nice thing about Flame Sweep is it doesn't kill any of our creatures at all. None of the fairies, none of everything, because it only does damage except for creatures you control with flying, and all of our creatures have flying on our side. So I mean, it makes sense to run. We could run more things like Lava Quill. That's why I brought in Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower, we can win through slowing them down, playing the tempo we play. It works pretty well for us. Okay, Castle Embereth. Oh, Flame Sweep. Quick. Well, we have to Lava Coil. If we played out the Sprite Dragon, it just dies. We could have gone for the Improbable Alliance instead, but meh. A Trail of Crumbs. Cauldron Familiar. They already have food tokens, so Cauldron Familiar comes back anyway. Creating a bunch of tokens can be a little bit better. So to go for the Sprite Dragon first, I can't really use it. I can Sprite Dragon, play out Castle Venturous, and opt if they block with the Goose. Otherwise, I probably want to hold up opt for so we can actually get value with Improbable Alliance. I guess we can draw into more cards. Drawing cards is never a bad thing, right? We can draw into more card draw. That's what I meant to say. I know there's a lot of thought going into this. It's tough stuff. Sprite Dragon. Yeah, I like Sprite Dragon a lot. It's a really good card. There is a lot of... We've already seen Stomp is still a thing, and it's really annoying. I could hold it back as a blocker for the Cauldron Familiar. Man, we're going to attack in. Yeah, we're going to opt. There's also things like Mayhem Devil, stuff like that we want to get around. That's the bottom. Real Scions. Sweet. Okay. So what we could do is next turn Flame Sweep. Turn after that Improbable Alliance into Royal Scions. So I got someone weed whacking right outside my window. Alright, yeah. Flame Sweep goes... This is a good time to Flame Sweep. We can't do it instant speed, so I guess we do that instead. Improbable Alliance into Thrill of Possibility as well. Yeah, Flame Sweep. Steam Vents tapped. Attack in. I want to see what they play. So pass the turn. And the main thing here is that Flame Sweep does really well against the Cauldron Familiar. Alright, yeah. They sack, bring it back. Yep, use up all of those food tokens. Do it. Keeps one on top. Bummer. That is the other reason for Flame Sweep. It does pretty well against this deck. There's a lot of things with 2 toughness. See if they do it again. They already have what they want on top. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Alright, we'll take 3. But we'll Flame Sweep now. That way they can't sack it to Woe Strider. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and just F6 here while they play Magic for another 10 minutes. From Eastbourne, hey, how's it going, Skeeper of Lands? Are you by chance a landscaper? Didn't go for the Cauldron Familiar. I mean, I guess I can do it instant speed, but it seems a little fishy. All right, Improbable Alliance. Extra blue mana doesn't do anything for us, even to try to get them to Emisizzle. So Royal Sands, discard this. keep growing the Sprite Dragon. Dude, it's so good. It gets so big so quick. I claim the Firstborn is really annoying. I don't want that again. We can even go for more damage here. 7. That is lethal for the next turn. Like if they don't find an answer for this and we tick up here instead, it's lethal. Most likely I'll get there anyway for the next turn. So in case they like claim the Firstborn, I don't want to get it too big. Drop the Castle Vantress, create a token, swing them in. They're going to be gaining some life as well. So I maybe we should have done it. I don't know. Flame Sweep only hits everything except creatures you control with flying. Yeah, Flame Sweep is busted. It's a really good card. Yeah, deals damage to 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. So in a Flyers deck, it's busted. Yeah, it's a really good card. Orvold. All right, I guess I did that wrong. I could get out Shark Typhoon here. This doesn't have trample, right? Corvold is like, typically this deck only runs 1 copy of Corvold, and they just happen to find it, whatever. I could go for the Shark Typhoon play. I can play out land, Shark Typhoon, swing in. They still have to, well, they'll take 6. Yeah, so I think we actually play this out completely here, just because they have a hard time dealing with enchantments, and we'll basically destroy them. Down to 4 past the turn. We do have shocks in the deck. We can just shock for the win. They have life gain. That's right. They can sack 2 foods, get 1 thing back. Oh, they're just going for... Oh, all right. That's intriguing. Not holding up the gain. I mean, they can gain some with Cauldron Familiar. Let's go Sprite Dragon. Bounce Corvold. We lose a Sprite Dragon because of Wolf Strider, but we absolutely have the win here. Oh, they didn't sack it with... I guess they can bring it back to hand. That's fine. Okay, give this trample. Yeah, there we go. Dude, all right. Yeah, that felt really good. If we draw the Flame Sweep at the right time, I mean, that's part of the issue with playing best of 1 is Flame Sweep is probably something that we run like 1, maybe 2 main board, but then sideboard we'd have another 2 of and something else like it, you know? And so playing best of 1, you're going to run into that kind of matchup where it's like sometimes it works out great, sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to do a quick wrap up. I went 3-3 with this deck. The games we lost, one of them was up against a really aggressive deck that we just didn't have the right pieces for. We totally destroyed one of the most aggressive decks in Standard as well, just by having the Scorching Dragonfires, the Shocks, Lava Quills in their opening hand. And again, that's best of 1. That's Magic. You're not going to win every game. That's why you typically do matches if you're up in the more competitive scene. I like where this deck is at. I think it's about right. There's no counter spells in it, which could be a mistake, not having any counter spells at the moment. So that's probably the one other thing you'd probably bring in. There is also... I forgot about Fire of Prophecy. which could also come in here because you do get to draw cards and deal 3 damage to something. So maybe over Scorch and Dragonfire, you bring that in so that you can draw cards as well. I kind of forgot about that when I was building it. So Fire Prophecy, really good in this deck as well. And overall, that's it for this one. So yeah, anyway, thanks so much for hopping on. If you guys please would like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.